Captain's Messenger. Jaylin, a bit of an emotional night for you. I kind of want to focus on, in the second half there, you score 10 straight points for the team, tie things up at 50-50. We see you kind of skip down towards the Akron bench, maybe saying some stuff. Just in that moment, what's it like just to kind of hit that shot? What's the feelings inside of it? And then was there any chatter down there? What was going on?
There was some chatter, but not at that point of the game. But just happiness just for my teammates, like just knowing that we still have a chance to win. We've been talking about staying together when we get down all year, and just to finally put that pen to paper for this game, that meant a lot to all of us.
Bobby Gorder from the Post. Guys, obviously the first win over, I guess, Akron or Toledo of the season. How does this win sort of build confidence towards the MAC tournament, kind of proving that you guys can win a game like this?
I mean, it's huge just to keep the momentum rolling. I mean, 7 of the last 9, just keeping that going into tournament time and keep it going into March. It's huge.
In crowd with WOB, this one's for either of you as well. What did that second half prove to you guys?
Just that we're resilient. I mean, I think we've shown some resiliency throughout the year, but just with a team of that caliber, who we have all the respect for and stuff like that, just to see our hard work pay off was really big.
Bobby Keegan with the Post. AJ, for you, of course it was a team effort, but holding Enrique Freeman to just 8 rebounds, how are you guys able to do that?
A lot of the time, I mean, they told me all week, just keep my body on him, just to try and back him out. Don't let him get his offensive rebounds pretty much.
Peyton Brooker with WAEB. What was kind of the emotions in the locker room to get that pushed in the second half?
Just exhilaration. Just us being happy, throwing a little bit of water bottles at the end of the game and stuff like that, and just knowing that our job isn't finished. Obviously, we have senior night coming up on Friday, and then a couple road games, and then the MAC tournament's here. So obviously, this is a big win, big morale boost, but it's honestly there's a lot bigger games ahead for sure.
Either one of you guys can answer this, but you guys are a team that prides yourself on playing at home. You moved to 11-3 in the Convo this year. Just how was the crowd tonight, and just how valuable is it to protect home court?
I mean, the crowd was great, just electric. I mean, it is every single time, but just to protect home court is really important, especially for the standings.
I think it was 45 points in the second half versus 29 in the first half. What was the biggest difference offensively from half 1 to half 2?
Our movement. I think that was some of the first game that we struggled with, and then in the first half, just trying to read their coverages, what they were doing. They switched it up a little bit from the first time we played them. So once we got adjusted to that, obviously our coaches just giving us plays to put us in the right position. We were able to execute.
Jaylin, for you, you kind of mentioned it, senior night coming up. Just talk me through the emotions of these next couple of days. Does it feel real yet?
It feels like too real. It's sad. It's a blessing at the same time, just being here for 5 years and just being able to have the health to be able to step on the floor every night is something that I just don't want to take for granted. And then finding Ohio University, being with teammates and coaches like this, I'm going to talk a lot more about it on Friday, I already know, but just very blessed and grateful for them.
Question for you, AJ. You always love getting lobs to you. What's kind of your feeling once you're getting those lobs up together and getting those?
I know when I point up, he's going to throw it. So I knew from half court that he was going to throw it. So I was ready.
AJ, I think you mentioned sort of the standings. How aware are you guys as the season winds down, the implications for the MAC tournament of all of these games and sort of what other teams are doing?
We just keep an eye on it. You know, at the end of the day, we know the teams we're probably going to have to play. I mean, the standings are starting to show who's going to play who. So just getting ready for it long term.
So Jaylin, for you, so obviously you were new last year, you transferred here last year, but it just seems that like when you're playing, especially when you have a night like you did tonight, the entire like crowd, the entire team just gravitates to you. Like, what does that kind of mean to you for everybody to kind of accept you into like this family?
I mean, from very early last year, Coach Boals and my teammates gave me the freedom to step into that leadership role, and AJ can attest to, like, it's been a rough journey. It was a rough journey, especially at the beginning and some hard days. But I've always thanked and been blessed that they were able to stick through me through the hard times, and just for it to be able to turn into good times, it's just a blessing, and I'm just glad that my teammates trust me enough to do that.
For either of you guys, what kind of message do you think a win like this sends around the league?
I mean, it was kind of a crazy night all around the league, so lots of messages I think were sent tonight.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Man, what an awesome atmosphere tonight. Just absolutely, blew us away, and got into it at the right times from start to finish. We were down 50-40, made that run, and that place got really loud. And that's great for recruiting. It's great for our guys and their energy, especially when they get tired. And the community, the students, the band, dance, cheer, been doing this all year, and just phenomenal atmosphere. But really proud of our guys. We found a gritty way, tough way to win. Didn't end the first half like we wanted to. Had a 1-point lead going into last war. I think 3:46 left. Bobby's might want to check me on that. Might have been 3:47. But they went on a 9-2 run. Seems like somebody's hit a half-court shot on us 3 times this year. And we were down 6, but proud of our guys for kind of keeping it together. And then when we got down 50-40, there was a media timeout, and we just talked like somebody had to make shots, because we had great looks. And once we got the stops defensively, I think Jaylin Hunter went on an 8-0 run on his own, and crowd got into it. Once we got the momentum, we carried it through, hit some big time shots, and had some big time stops down the end. Just proud of our guys for the win.
Eric Decker, Jackson's messenger coach. I think now you're 7-2 in conference play since the start of the year. Protect home court against the league leaders. What does this type of win do for the team in terms of morale boost, confidence boost, especially with Mark coming right up?
Yeah, this is when you want to be playing your best basketball. And I think, like you said, we're 7-2 in our last 9 games. And one of them was a non-conference game, and the other one we probably should have won. Had a chance to win. So I think it shows, 1, you can compete, 2, you can win. And now you got to be able to do it on a neutral court, 3 games in 3 days. But we got 3 games left. We got senior night coming up on Friday. Our guys all year long have been doing a great job of coming and preparing. We had a short turnaround. We played Saturday, had to fly back from Northern. They had the extra day off, which I was a little worried about. But our guys did a great job. Those 2 days, our staff, our training staff, our strength and conditioning coach did a great job hydrating. And the short turnaround, a lot of times the film is your practice. So the film was carried over to court. We went shorter than we normally do, and now we got another quick turnaround senior night on Friday.
Bobby Warber with the Post. Coach, some crazier results tonight in the MAC. How aware are you guys of some of those other results, and I guess the seeding going into the MAC tournament, and I guess the matchups that could?
Yeah, I think it just shows the parity, right? You go on the road; it's tough to win on the road, and I'm not exactly sure who won and lost, but you got to bring your A game. You got to be focused. You got to be ready to go. I was concerned about going to Northern Illinois, and our guys handled it maturity-wise, and the maturity, the consistency, and the focus have to be there, and that's where you really depend on your 3 seniors. And with Miles, Sharif, and Jaylin, they've done a great job in the locker room. During film sessions, timeouts. Of keeping our guys locked in, and it's a 3-game season now, and I think we clinched last Saturday, an opportunity to play, and that's all you ask for, and it goes back to just continuing to play the right way, finish out the regular season the right way, on a momentum, take a couple days off, head up to Cleveland, and 3 games in 3 days, see what happens.
Coach, Aiden Crowley with WOEB. Jaylin capped off that 10-0 run with a transition 3. When he gets hot like that, how much trust do you have in him to make the right decision and just kind of let him go?
Yeah, I think the big thing, we just needed one to go. And in that stretch, like you said, I think it was 8-0 by himself. And we trust him. And he was cramping up a little bit, but he fought through it. He didn't let that affect what he was doing. And that's what you want out of your seniors. He missed the 1 free throw, hit a couple big ones. Miles stepped up, hit a couple big ones. Sharif hit free throws, and you can't practice those in practice, those free throws, with the score the way it is, the fatigue factor, the crowd factor, and it's just a mental toughness to step up and knock them in. But I'm proud of Jaylin. I thought defensively he was really good as well, and we made some big plays on that end.
Bobby Keegan with the Post. Coach, you were able to hold Enrique Freeman to just 8 rebounds today and no offensive rebounds. How are you guys able to do that?
Good discussion. He's a big, he's the game plan, right? And he's the best player in our league. He'll probably have a chance to make a lot of money playing this game. Potential being All-American. To do what he's done all year long with the way people guard him. He's seen every double, triple team that you can imagine, and makes the right read. when he gets double, triple teamed. So you got to give up something when you're guarding him. Our big emphasis was rebounding. I think they had 6 offensive boards in the first half for 9 points. And what did they end up for the game? 8 or 9 offensive rebounds? 8.
They finished with
8. So 2 in the second half. And we forced some misses. So we got some big time stops at the end. But he's a load. I mean, he's. I enjoy watching him when he's not playing us, but I think everything I hear about him, he's a great kid, and he's gonna have a bright future.
Peyton Brooker with WAB. One of the factors I saw in this game was the free throws from both sides. You guys went 18 for 20 with 90%. They only went 9 for 15. So how important does being focused and getting those shots up impact?
Yeah, that's huge. And any close game, obviously, you want to step up and make them. And it was a physical game, both ends. And every shoot around, we have a free throw contest at the end. Where there's a little bit of pressure for our guys, and just to get them focused on it. But like I said before, you can't simulate, that type of fatigue, the time and the score, the crowd energy, and that's just a toughness piece where our guys, refocus, reset themselves, and step up. And a lot of it's muscle memory, knocking them in.
Kind of going back to Jaylin for a second, I kind of want to focus in on, especially in the second half there, when things start to get a little chippy, a lot of talking on the court. For you as a coach, how do you kind of handle letting the players kind of let their emotions run and see what happens, or kind of trying to rein them in, and just how do you kind of handle those situations?
Yeah, it's a fine line, right? You can't get out of yourself and get too caught up emotionally, and he's an emotional kid. And, it's a learning moment for him because, when he gets in those one-on-one battles, he tends to get out of what we're trying to do as a team. And I think it's a maturity deal, right? Finish the right way, have the focus that you need to, and not getting caught up in the momentum of the time of what's going on, and be the bigger person.
Coach talked a little bit about Jaylin's transition 3. How big was the transition offense in the second half to kind of getting the offense rolling a little bit more?
Yeah, really big, because they're such a really great half-court defensive team. They do a great job ball screens. They guard us differently than most people because of AJ Clayton, so they did a lot of switching. And we tried to run with pace in our offense, try to get the ball moving. I thought we did a much better job game 2 than we did game 1 at their place. We've seen it all year long, especially lately. And anytime you can get a stop and get out in transition, we're really good when we do that. And it's tough for the defense to get set up, when you do that. But you got to get that stop and that rebound, before. So we talked at halftime with those 6 offensive rebounds, like, hey, look, we got to block out. Once we do, get it and go. And towards the end of a game, when both teams are tired, you got to be a little mentally tougher. You got to be a little, physically tougher and push yourself to get that layup. Like Sharif had that one layup. He just, Speedy Gonzalez, man, he went coast to coast and laid it in, and that's a toughness deal.
Coach, at several different points kind of down the stretch here in the season, it kind of seems like the team kind of runs through Jaylin Hunter. Kind of what do you think it is about him that just allows him to kind of control the crowd when we're at home, like be a leader of the team, and kind of just everybody, like, that be everybody's guy? Yeah,
I mean, if you look at our offense and what we do, we demand and expect a lot of that point guard position. Go back to Jason Preston, Mark Sears, and now Jaylin. And, there's a lot of decision-making involved with the way teams guard and what's open and what the, rotations are. And, when Gabe came in, they trapped the ball screen, played a little differently. So he watches a lot of film with Coach Barlow. He spends a lot of extra time, shooting. And, it pays off because, the thing you want as a coach during the course of a film session, you want your players to speak up. And he watches enough film on his own and with Coach Barlow where he'll interject and say something to the team. And a lot of times, his voice, means more than mine. And that's what you want, as a coach. And he's been doing that.
Kind of switching over to Friday, what's going to be kind of like the emotions going through that night, on senior night, last home game? So what's going to be kind of like the emotion that's going to be going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you always wonder, right, what's it going to be like? My senior night, I came out on crutches and cried like a baby. Wasn't able to play in it. But I think our guys are locked in, focused. Miles has been here 5 years. Jaylin's going to walk. Gabe's not. I'm not sure about Sharif, but I think those two are special guys, especially Miles. Been here with me for 5 years. Jaylin to come, after Mark Sears leaves, to become the point guard, and his growth as a person, as a player, in 2 years, it's just a really cool thing to see as a coach. And hopefully, we come out with a win, and we got 2 road games next week, so we got to refocus and lock in.
Coach, speaking of Miles Brown, I felt like he was phenomenal tonight on the defensive end of the floor. Just his ability to guard Ollie one possession and then pick up Trimble the next. How is he able to kind of change the game on the defensive side of the floor for you?
Yeah, I mean, he and Sharif are our 2 best on-ball defenders, and I think Miles' ability to be able to guard multiple positions, he's got to probably have 7-8 inches on him. And, they went to him late where Ollie, I think, had maybe 6 straight points. But Miles is a tough kid. He's a winner, makes the right plays. He just, made some big-time plays on that end, poking the ball away. I'm not sure how many steals he had, but, he's – I always say he's like the blanket with Linus. You know what you're going to get out of him, and you feel comfortable with him on both ends, and that's a great thing to have as a coach.
I think you mentioned the free throw shooting a little bit at the beginning, but especially with how the team's kind of struggled with it at times this year, how satisfying is it just to see 17 for 20, especially in such a big game like tonight?
I think multiple games, I have to go back and look, but there's been multiple games, even the Kent State game, right, where you hit those free throws. And, you always go back when you lose close games, and we talked about this. We lost 9 games by 36 points, and go back to Cleveland State. We missed free throws, so you can go back, and anytime you get them in close situations, you need to make them. And, fortunately, we've been doing that. Our guys, like I said, we shoot free throws at the end of every practice. We have our free throw contest during shoot-around. It's hard to simulate, the time, the score, the exhaustion, but our guys are doing it, so got to keep it going. I appreciate you guys. See you Friday.